And obviously there's people who like looked at me like, are you crazy? It's a pandemic and this is a great job. Let me tell you, there's actually more money in freelancing, just so you know. I felt like a fraud. This video is actually hard to film. I don't understand why. Where do I begin? If it's your first time here, hi, my name is Nothando and I make videos on construction, which is the career or the industry that I'm in, lifestyle, which is like sharing bits and pieces of my life here and there, and travel. This video is predominantly for my subscribers because I feel like you guys have been on the journey with me. Let me share the story with you. You know that I switched job last year. Literally, that was my dream job. It was an international job, it was in consulting, and I've always felt like I do not belong on site in the dirt, or I do not belong in a site office. I've always felt like I don't belong in a site office. The job was international. I love traveling. This means I'm going to have travel opportunities. And it's consulting. That means I'm in the office. I can dress up more, unlike being on site where you're always wearing jeans and stuff like that. So I started the job. I'm going to link the video there. If you watch this video, you can see I was very happy. I was glowing. It was great. It was beautiful. I loved everything about it. I loved the size of the office. It was small. As an introvert, having to work with too many people overwhelms me. So that was great. Like, it was like a small office. It was a beautiful office. It was great people. It was great. It was healthy. I was learning a new language. You know, I'm an aspiring polyglot. I want to learn all the languages in the world. All the languages in the world. So I was learning a new language as well. It was really, really great. And then lockdown happened, and then we started working from home, which was initially fine. But because this was a switch for me, I'm from a contracting background and I just moved to a consulting background. So I was doing things that I've never really done when I was in contracting. That's when I learned that QSing is actually very different depending on where you work. So then I was learning a new way of QSing. We're putting bills together. I was translating drawings. I was still measuring, but using different types of software. It was a big change, but the work was, let me be honest with you, very simple, very straightforward, not hard at all. I mean, I didn't have to do any rate breakdowns. I didn't have to add or escalation. I didn't have to do all the accounting side of quantity surveying. It was more the quantitative side, putting the bill together and measuring. But as soon as we're isolated, the work became overwhelming for me. Like, having a document that you don't understand and you have to like go through it while you're trying to get a hold of a new way of doing things, which is the consulting side of things, was overwhelming. And I literally, every time I was home, I was sleeping at 11 p.m. Even then, when I try to go to bed, my heart would be pumping and racing, like worried about the next tender submission. Did I do everything okay? Did I, after translating the document, does this word make sense in English? Is it the right, should I use each or should I use your? I was literally worried about the tiniest of things, which frustrated me even more, because it felt like I'm misaligned, if I can put it that way. I didn't have time to be creative. The work was very repetitive. The work was very tedious, and I was starting to like panic because I wasn't performing well. Like, I was making mistakes. So sometimes like it'd be like, no, instead of saying this word, why don't you say this other word? Or there's like double spacing, was like 2 lines, and it just started feeling like petty and a lot of tedious, monotonous, repetitive work. When you are not passionate about what you're doing, let me tell you something, you are more prone to making mistakes because you don't see the finer details, and quantity surveying is all about the finer details. If somebody's passionate about something, let's say filmmaking, if we're all watching a movie, somebody who's passionate about filmmaking will spot, ooh, the color grading here, look at the transition there. I love how they set the tone for the scene, or how they decided to do a time lapse here, and how they transitioned to this other scene, and how this just, somebody else who isn't really passionate about filmmaking will not pick up those minor details. So I was losing myself and my passion, and I was not picking up those finer details. And this is the truth to me. Like, I've always said this, and I've always known that I am a predominantly right brain person, but I have the capabilities to do left brain people stuff. But in order for me to thrive as a person, I need an environment that fosters both of those things together. So I kind of felt like I was in a box and I couldn't really be creative because things had to be done in this certain way, to the T. And contracting gave you slightly a chance to be creative, a chance for your days to be different. My days were exactly the same, pretty much the same type of thing. You can spend the whole day doing the same thing, and that started weighing on me. Like, it literally started weighing on me, and slowly I felt like I was dying. And I started switching up, like working locations in Cape Town, looking at a beautiful view but feeling like and in one of my 15 minutes break in Cape Town, we were watching the sunset. I took a picture of that sunset, and my caption for that picture was literally taking it 45 minutes at a time with 15 minutes break. And I remember how beautiful that sunset was, but I remember not being able to fully be in that moment because I was so stressed about whether or not I made a mistake, and I was just not present in my life. Like, and I was just like, I want to be somebody that's passionate about the work, right? But I also want to be somebody that can switch off. Like, if work is done, I can switch off and then enjoy other parts of life, because your life is not your work all the time. And I started being this person that constantly, like, from the moment I opened my eyes, it was like, I'm worried about A, B, C, D, E. And I started feeling like my brain is going to explode. I can't live every day like that. And then I started thinking about how the previous year I was isolated from my family during lockdown. I was alone. I started being paranoid that how can I be so unhappy and still continue doing this when I could, let's say, be spending time with my family. And I also started thinking about how I had a birthday that was so sad. Like, I was alone on my birthday in 2020, and I was just like, you know, that whole movement, like the Great Resignation, it kind of felt like I had a moment like, Nothando, if you would die tomorrow, are you going to be happy that what is the end goal? Literally, like, I asked myself, like, what is the end goal? How long can you keep on doing this? And I got to a point where I was just like, And I remember I had taken leave and I was at Jackalberry in Mpumalanga. And I remember even during my leave, I was like literally working, measuring and working and stuff like that. That was when I made the decision in my mind. I was just like, you know what?
And the day came when the risk it took to remain tightly closed in a bud was more painful than the risk it took to bloom. This is the element of freedom.
Drafted my resignation letter and sent it through and quit my dream job. I had a plan, but my plan was very vague, but it was foolproof enough, obviously. And I am a saver. My financial personality is saver. I love having savings. So I had a decent amount of saving. I calculated a time frame that I wanted to be at home, and I was giving myself 8 months, and I calculated how much a portion of my savings could take me, cancelled all the debit orders that I had that I felt like were unnecessary for the time, moved out of my apartment. These are the sacrifices that you need to do. Move out of my apartment, move back home. But I was also happy with this decision because I wanted to spend time with my family. I had moved out of home like 7 years ago, so it was a shock to the system. And the goal to me was to be home, spend time with family, do little things that make you happy. And I was home for like 5 months. In the 5 months that I was at home, I got to do a lot of things. I got to bond with my family.
Yes, girl. I love your shoes. Thank you. I love your jacket. Thank you. Turn around, pose.
Okay, 2-1.
Okay.
I got to harness my housekeeping skills because I'm home, so I needed to like cook and clean and stuff. And I thought I was gonna be like ready for marriage after that. I don't even know why. Oh, I also got a chance to like freelance a bit, which was helpful, but it wasn't a lot of work when I was freelancing. I freelanced But let me tell you, there's actually more money in freelancing, just so you know. But because it's inconsistent, it can be kind of frustrating. So you can have like good money coming in for like a month or so, and then 2 months nothing. So I got to freelance a bit, and that's when I was just like, this is what they're talking about when they talk about quantity surveyors being rich, quantity surveyors being rich. Freelancing, there's a lot of money in freelancing, and you must. I'm definitely going to look more into that in the future. But yes, I freelanced a bit just to keep my brain working out. But those opportunities are so inconsistent that it's scarier. But when the money comes in, it comes in. It's just that you don't know when it's going to come in, which is kind of like a gamble. But the opportunity to actually be on the expression show, which was fun. Excellence to me is consistency, I think. I got to travel to Kenya and Zanzibar. You can't do that when you have a job. Because especially in construction, I feel like taking leave is so taboo. I'm saying especially in construction because that's the industry I'm in. I don't know how other industries are. It depends on the company culture. But I got to guilt-freely do that with no burden of work and expectations on my shoulders. Best use of my savings, which was our plan for. I got to really actually bond with my friends, because when I still, let's say, lived in Joburg, before I moved out of my apartment, I'd be around obviously, but during the weekends I'd be still like working or catching up on stuff. And if I was out, it was really like a completely good time, because I was constantly semi-stressed about work or whatever, and it was also locked down, so but I got to like proper spend time with my friends.
State your case.
Hi guys, my name is Nothando. I'm single, ready to mingle.
You were supposed to tell people how you're sorry for making me wait.
Oh, I'm sorry for making you wait, Jared.
I'm not gonna upload.
Oh yeah! Why I'm just sitting because she's using like all this. But I'm just like, maybe I start to say, Mina, I want you to take pictures of me. But Mina, I'm funny when I'm telling is Tom. Does it make sense? Yeah. So I'm funny when I look nice and I'm like, no, but saying you just yes, go yeah,
Let me take a photo of you. Like you see those guys that do the whole thing.
yeah,
Tantalizing.
It's cool when we're making love on the low, on the low. When I should not, you're so strong, always the weakness in me.
Why are
you
Actually be at ease when I was with them, and that was a nice feeling. I had no Monday scaries. It was great. And then I also got to babysit my niece and nephew. I hadn't done this since I was in high school, obviously, because I was working and stuff like that. So that was great. Like I got to like proper bond with them again as well, be around them fully. Very tiring. A reminder that I'm not ready for children, which was great. Bonded with my mom. I got to catch up with my little sister. I've got a little sister, and I feel like I got to learn her and her personality, and loved every moment of. How many hours? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Musa. You could use my time to do what I wanted to do, so I got to research topics that I was intrigued in. You'll see the videos probably much later on. I just felt like I needed to do this video, and I got to really live. And I was happy about this. Through this career break, I had feelings I didn't think I'd have. I knew that maybe I could like regret stuff, like, oh my gosh, like you don't have money coming in. And I had what's called corporate guilt. And this is where I couldn't actually relate to my friends or everybody else is complaining about work or like the Monday scaries or whatever. I literally was just like, I don't have to worry about that. Or people complaining about their bosses. I'm just like, I don't know what that is. Or people So you kind of feel like you're like an outsider a little bit because you're not complaining about that. But did that deter me? Did that make me feel like, oh, I shouldn't have? Nope. Wasn't strong enough. Corporate guilt, I got corporate guilt, but it wasn't strong enough. And also kind of feeling like behind in your career, like you could be making strides and getting to a certain level of achievements. Like you could be like a senior, you could be working towards your PR right now. I felt those, yes, but the feeling of relief was actually still way bigger than them. But these are emotions, and if you are going to do this, or if you want to quit, or if you want to do what, just be aware that you're going to have something called corporate guilt, and that's just you not feeling like you fit in properly in a society that is designed a certain way. Oh, that sounds so in a society that's designed. It was more of like a, ooh, that's different. Like I didn't expect to feel that way. But just if you're ever going to do this, just know that might be a feeling that comes. The other feeling that I had, which was unexpected, was I felt like a fraud. No, I felt like a fraud when I started hating the job. Let me be honest with you. Having a YouTube channel that predominantly talks about quantity surveying, your career, whatever, and then wanting to quit the career, feeling like you hate the career, you feel like a fraud. But I kept on coming across people saying that they love the videos, and I'm just like, you might not be practicing, but you're helping people who are either already in the industry and they can relate to your struggles. Because when I do share about quantity surveying, I don't only share about like the great side of it. I talk about the expectations, I talk about the hard parts, I talk about how it's not what it's hyped up to be. So I'm not a fraud, even though I felt like one. I'm not gonna lie, I felt like one. And the messages about how, no, please keep doing the videos, felt like they were encouraging, and they kind of like made that voice kind of fade away a little bit. So that also kind of helped me go through the phase of feeling like a fraud. And the messages about how the videos are encouraging, and as much as they talk to, let's say, young people who don't know about the career, they also are like an element of relief to professionals who are already in the industry. I mean, I had a video about millennials quitting the industry, and everybody can vent about their struggles within the industry. So that feeling was slowly squashed. One thing I'll never question is the industry. Maybe I'm questioning quantity surveying, but maybe I'm just on the wrong side of quantity surveying. Maybe consulting is not for me. I still can't fully say yes or no to that. But from my most recent experience, maybe it's not, because I couldn't stand the monotony of it. I couldn't stand the routine of how like there was no sense of creativity on the side, and how everything just took all my time up. I mean, even when I was in contracting, I made time to do a photography course just so the creative part of my brain was given the chance, because it was an imbalance. It kind of felt like an imbalance, and I couldn't like tip it over again. Like I couldn't balance. And all of my videos when I was in consulting, you'd see like towards the end, I'd be like, I am so tired. I was constantly tired.
Working and YouTubing and also living life.
And my creative side was literally like starving. It was starving, and I couldn't cope. And also another like unpleasant feeling that I had was using my savings, just seeing that value go down after working on it for all these years. It was so painful. I'm just like, oh my gosh, come on. Ugh. But what helped me get through that specific feeling was YOLO. You only live once. If you die tomorrow, remember this. If you die tomorrow, would you be happy with your life? Who's going to use all these savings? So I convinced myself by saying that you were saving all these years just so you can have this little break of a moment. Just this is why you were saving. I'm in a space that's like, I know my why, as people you would say. I feel aligned, and I have my eye on the prize. That's how I'm gonna put it. I have my eye on the prize and my goal in this chapter of my life. I bought myself some time to breathe and kind of take care of myself and not drown, because I didn't like the person I was becoming. You know how they say, if you're complaining to multiple people about the same thing, then you're just looking for attention. I was so annoying. Like I was annoying to myself. Like I couldn't listen to myself. I would literally meet new people, and maybe 2 minutes into having the conversation, they'd know that I'm unhappy at work, and I'm just like, sissy, something is wrong now. You need to make a decision. If you're not changing it, you are choosing it. So you're choosing this misery, and if you're miserable, you need to cut it out. And obviously there's people who like looked at me like, are you crazy? It's a pandemic, and this is a great job, and are you going through like, you just need to change your mindset and be literally like every time I was going to work, there's a point where I was listening to this clip.
I trust the process of life. I am deeply fulfilled by all that I do.
And every fiber of my being was like, unamanga, uyaxoka, you are lying, yayilig, uwaleshanu, uwamaka, estás mintiendo, minti, you are lying. My body was rejecting all of these affirmations. I was just trying every single day. Even this didn't work. I was just like, sissy, you are at the, like, literally. At the end of the day, when you make this type of decision, make it for you. Do not think about everyone else in their lives. Do not think about what they're going to think. Will they understand? Will you fit in? Will you not fit in? Everyone else is going through their own struggles. Everyone else is going through their own reality. They don't even think about you as much as you think they think about you. Will they judge you? Maybe. I don't know. But at the end of the day, make the decision for yourself. You are living your life. Just make sure that it's calculated. Make sure you're not going to be a burden to the wrong people. I literally just did my quick calculations and took the plunge, and how I spent the time I'm very happy with, and I feel like I'm in a much better state now. Now I see work differently. I don't feel like I'm trapped in the rat race. I feel like I can choose which races I want to put it, like, it's not, it doesn't have, I feel like corporate doesn't have control over me, but I have control over corporate. If I need to leave, I feel like I do have the option. It does not scare me. It's something that I've done before. I just need to have a clear plan, and I feel like this is such a better mindset to be in, not feeling like you don't have a choice. I feel like I'll always have a choice. I have a choice, and I want to be able to choose what I want for my life. And yeah, this is a story of how I was part of the Great Resignation. And so if you're going through a really hard time and you're really unhappy, sorry. And if you feel like you don't have a good enough plan to, like, take a break, a career break, then sorry. I know how you feel. That's all I can say. And I hope that you will find a way to just keep making it through. And I encourage having hobbies. I encourage being able to switch off from work, because if you constantly feel like your mind is constantly thinking about that, it's unhealthy. I was in a very unhealthy state of mind, and I'm glad that I'm back. I'm back in corporate again, and I've got a very fresh perspective of it right now. I don't want to talk too much about it because I don't want to jinx anything. I don't want to be in it like, oh guys, no. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you found it insightful. I feel like I took something off my chest, because I literally did feel like a fraud for the months that I'd taken a career break, but it is what it is. It does what it do. And sometimes it's possible that you can get your dream job and not like it. Kibupelo, it is life. I'm glad that I had the privilege to change all of that, and I'm also grateful to my sister, my older sister, for being born first, because she took a majority of the black tax, so I have a chance to, like, save a bit more and make these type of decisions. So thank you, Sebenzile. I love you. Yeah, so yeah, thank you so much for watching this video, guys. I hope you found it insightful, and please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you're going through the same thing, you can comment, you can DM me on Instagram. We can have a chat about it. You can ask me any sorts of questions that you have, if you really have questions. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. See you later in another video. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Mwah.